Okay, somebody said, "Oh, you didn't even know that it was Khufu that built the pyramid." You stupid, stupid fuck. Khufu built the pyramid at Giza, the Great Pyramid at Giza, and that was after Amenhotep. You know, Amenhotep came later. Amenhotep was in the 3rd dynasty. Khufu was in the 4th. 100 years apart. Khufu was 2667. Amenhotep was like 25 something. Now, so Khufu used the ideas that Amenhotep, the great medicine guy, the great astronomer, the great astrologer, his architects used the principles passed down through masonry from Amenhotep. Thus, the principles of Amenhotep built the step pyramid at Saqqara. So, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? We're talking about the 3rd and 4th dynasty. First, you got Menzies. Then you got Zoser in the 3rd dynasty. Then you go to the 4th dynasty and you got Khufu. We go all the way to 15th dynasty. You got the Hyksos. And who expels the Hyksos? Kamos and Amos. And what the fuck is Amosi and Kamosi doing? They're kicking the shit out of the woods who were persecuting the Jews because they were part black, just like the slaves. They were the greater African family tree of the black African family tree, the sub-Saharan Afro-Asiatic dialect that comes from West Africa. And they were the greater African, Igbo, South African, Ethiopian family tree. Sudanese, Eritrean, Somalian. Okay? So they were persecuted by the foreign invaders, the Hyksos, who thought the Europeans were better. So when the Hyksos got expelled, in the 25th dynasty, comes along later, it was between those dynasties that came after the 15th and the 25th that allowed for the Jews to make their exodus and to have a place to go. So it was the black Africans like the 18th and the 19th dynasty. Akhenaten, Tutmosis, Tutankhamun, Ramses the Great. It was the 18th and the 19th dynasty where you have the exodus, right? So it was the black dynasties. White dynasties were the oppressor who gave Abraham a hard time and almost slept with his wife, but using the principles passed down to him from the black Egyptian law, it kept the white wood from sleeping with their wife. So Abraham gets his place in the Delta, he leaves, goes to Israel. Later on, Jacob and Joseph and all the tribes of Israel come to Egypt when Joseph is made the chancellor. And then his descendants reign there for quite some time as part of the black Egyptian hierarchy. And then, remember, Semites are dark-skinned. It's where the white genome and the black genome start to split apart. This is like the transitional zone between being a European and being an African. But when you're in the continent of Africa, you are now a black African white-looking man. But if you're a white person in Greece, you're now a black African European. You're European, but you're part of the, you see what I'm saying? So even though these guys can be part of the European genome as well, they're African black people, first and foremost. That's why Egypt was more interested in Nubia than Asia. So, and that's all the way until the foreign period. So until the foreign kingdoms and antiquity, the white man wasn't doing shit. The majority of what white man did was in antiquity, not in ancient times. In the ancient times, the white man was the mercenary, the observer, and in the transitional zone between ancient times and antiquity, they were the occupier, the colonists, the imperialists, those who established a foreign dictatorship and oppressed peoples. It wasn't enough to suffice to, it's not enough to suffice to say that this is a bucolic Egyptian tomb and you Africans are quite smart when nobody's looking. That does not suffice, Mr. White Man. That does not suffice. Your malevolent, benevolent plans do not go together. Either you're good or you're evil. Either you're following God or you're following the devil. There is no equilibrium in the church. When you teach the light of God, there is no darkness with it, except for when you're exposing the scum. And I gotta be the one to teach you woods that. One of the most pissed off people of all. Maybe it's because my great righteous indignation that God chose me. Maybe because God realizes that I'm one of the few people who is pissed off at the scum as he is. I don't know. I don't propose to know the will of God. I don't purport to know the will of God. I don't pretend. But what I do know is God's going to make you motherfuckers suffer, with or without me. That's what this whole video series is about. From 1 all the way to 777, if I even live to get there. Because only God knows the day. I know the plan, but only God knows the day. Oh, I would love to join you in the battlefield, my friends, if I did not have to do the work of the Lord. The divine work, not the great work of Satan, but the divine work of our Lord. The only equilibrium is sorting through everything and finding the precious metals. The only equilibrium, Mr. White Man, Mr. I claim to solve it all. There's metals in the ground, and you claim to be the one who made all the metals, right? We're the alchemists who dug up the metals first. We're the alchemists who started manipulating the metals and rubbers and all this stuff. But you're the woods. Where's the rubber tree from? Do I have to explain to you that not only the falcon, the hawk, and the eagle are all native to Africa, but it doesn't work the other way around? It doesn't work the other way around because animals come from the motherland, not from some foreign land. God comes from the motherland, not from some foreign land. Jesus had to go to the motherland, not to some foreign land. And when he left, he went to Israel. He said, I'm not going to go preach to the woods in Europe. They're a bunch of Gentile scum. I'm going to go to Africa and to Israel, to my Afro-Asiatic brothers. I'm not here for the white devil. I'm not here for the caveman. I'm not here for the illegitimate caucasoid. He must get the bread that trickled down. And if he follows Satan, then he's got to wait till Satan gets the crumbs, and then he gets it way down there in hell. You see, hell is part of the hierarchy, part of the divine structure of God. You have God and the angels below him, and then everybody else. And many of you say, but the angels serve us. The angels don't serve us, you fool. The angels serve God, and they just happen to help us while they're doing it. In the greater picture, they're above you, scum. Never forget that. Because before Abraham, there was God. Before the white man, there was the black man. Before the Egyptian pantheon, there was the temple gods of Egypt. And before the liars, there was truth. In the beginning, there was the Word. In the beginning, there was the truth. There was the light. There was God. And what happened after that? The Neanderthal, Germanic, Bavarian conspiracy is what happened after that. And I've elaborated on that in all the videos prior to this one. And remember, it's not enough to say we suffice. We're going to suffice. We're just going to suffice it by saying, oh, it's bucolic. It's quite pretty. It's magnificent. It is quite the work of art. Let's go take it home back to Europe and take all the credit. No. You're not going to give credit when nobody's looking and try to make your kids and you look good when everybody's looking. You're the hook-nosed caucasoid. You're the one who Ramses had in the pile. You're the Libyan. You're the illegitimate European barbarian who didn't know nothing about nothing till he went down, learned civilization, went back up, and reinstalled his own twist of African civilization. Thus, my original claim that Western culture, quote-unquote, is nothing but African Masonic ideology with a white man's twist. Because there is nothing that the white man has done that hasn't been done before in some form or shape. He did not come up with any ideas inspired by God. We did. He simply built on that. He's the motherfucker who's in it for the last 10 yards. We ran the 90. We ran the 100. And they want to stop us at the 90 while they run the last 10. And I say, no, 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 no. Because the pen is mightier than the sword.